What's happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL Vision. I hope you are doing awesome today. We have an unboxing to do for you guys. This was sent in to the channel by a good buddy of mine, Kevin, over at Lefty EDC. He sent this guy in for me to take a look at. It is a pass-around knife. Now, this knife is available right now for pre-order. I will have all the information and links down in the description so you can head over there and take a look at it on the website. We'll go ahead and get started digging into this guy. We'll use the Spyderco Shaman as our unboxing knife. Now, I have not handled this before, and I am absolutely stoked to get into this guy. Kevin and his partner Colin are the team that make up Divo knives, and this is a collaboration with Urban EDC Supply, and this is going to be the first type of knife that they have ever done in this configuration, this format, and I know it's going to be good. Kevin never lets me down. He just has a mind, and he just knows what is good. He knows what people like, and I am stoked to get into this guy. We'll close up the Shaman. So I'm not 100% sure if it comes in the normal Divo knives leather zipper pouch. Because it's an Urban EDC Supply exclusive, it might come with a collab type box or pouch. I'm not 100% sure how that is all going to go. I don't have any other information on this guy. So, could be this. It might not be. We shall see, though, soon enough. So what we have here is a Northwoods leather slip. Always done very, very well. Some of the best custom leather slips in the game. I have several myself, and I absolutely love them. And what this slip is housing is Kevin and Colin's brand spanking new slip joint. Now, this will be branded as an Urban EDC Supply knife. I do not believe Divo knives will be on the knife, so to speak. It will be Kevin and Colin's design, and it will be Urban EDC Supply's knife. So what we have here is the Urban EDC Supply Barley with their infamous Sagaha pattern, wave pattern on this titanium frame. Very well finished. I love the Sagaha. I have several knives in it myself. Now, this knife for pre-order will be $249. And for that, you get the exclusive wave Sagaha pattern. I believe there are 3 different models that you can choose from. They have plain titanium, which doesn't have the Sagaha, I believe. And then they also have the black washed Sagaha version. And then they also have this blue anodized version. And I would say, looking at the photos, I would have to say, I think the black Sagaha does have a black wash blade, it appears. But I think I might like this one. Looks like a machine satin. Let's go ahead and open it up, see how that pull feels. You have the long pull here. That's what that is called when you have this elongated line here. That's a long pull. So let's see what we got. Nice. Okay, buddy. Nice. All right. I can get down with that, dude. It's not too strong to the point where it's, you know, there's a fine line between slip joints that have a great walk and talk and slip joints that have just way too strong of a walk and talk. Now, being a step below too strong or being right in that sweet spot of great walk and talk is very hard to do. And I would say, especially from half stop to open, that is awesome. Now, to half stop from closed, it is nice and smooth. I like that, dude. It's nice and easy to get to half, and then you got a nice, I would say, a 7 or so to get it to open. I like that, dude. That's nice. You're going to have fantastic ergos on this guy because not only do you have a nice neutral handle, you have a little swell back here for your pinky to rest perfectly on, but the ingenious designers that Kevin and Colin are, they said, why don't we go ahead and put a 50-50 finger choil in this bad boy that'll allow people to choke way up on the knife, and it'll also add a second layer of safety so that way the knife cannot be closed down onto your fingers or your hand. That is as far as this bad boy will go. I would much rather, if, you know, accidents happen, I would much rather have just a tiny little nick here from the corner of the blade than this thing to pop completely closed down on, say, one of your fingers. Definitely would prefer that because slip joints are non-locking. That is kind of going to be your second or backup to just the spring tension that you get with a slip joint. It's just a little added mechanism or safety feature that I actually really appreciate. And not only that, but it adds to some great ergos. I would probably put my middle finger through here and then do the index grip just like this. One of my favorite grips. Gives you a lot of control, very precise cutting. That's my preferred grip for the most part. That is, and this is ultra comfortable for that. It's not too thick. It's actually relatively thin. I remember Kevin saying, you know, it's going to be a pretty thin knife, and I don't think it's overly thin. I think it's very well done. I think the thickness is just right. Let's go ahead and check this guy and see what. So it's coming in right around 0.32, 0.3, 0.31, 0.32, somewhere in that neighborhood. While we got these out. Wow, dude, are you kidding me? Roughly 80 thousandths on the blade stock. That is insane. Behind the edge. We're going down, boys. That bad boy is going to be, I bet that's between 10 and 12 thousandths. That is insane. Now, that's going to allow you to have some great slicing capabilities. This is not meant to be a hard use folder. You know, it's not meant to be beat on. This is meant to be a pure slicer. And I think because of the slip joint design, they nailed it with keeping it a little thinner, keeping the blade stock thin, an awesome sheep's foot Warncliffe style blade shape that's going to allow you to do your slicing tasks very well. You'll be able to do draw cuts very easily because you still have a point on the end of your knife, and then you have this nice long semi-straight edge here. There is a little tiny belly to it, but not very much at all. It looks like it sweeps just ever so slightly. So it's got more of a sheep's footprint than it does a Wharncliffe, but it's, you know, teetering on both sides. You're going to be getting M390 on the blade steel for these guys for all three models, titanium bodies for all three models. You have very minimal hardware. You got 3 here on this side and then 3 here on this side. It's nice and clean looking. There's no branding on this guy at all, which I can get behind that. I can fully appreciate keeping the knife completely sterile. I know what I'm getting, and if somebody else wants to know, I can just let them know. It's not there doesn't need to be branding all over the knife. Now, I do enjoy Kevin and Colin's DK pivot, but I can see why it wouldn't be done on this knife. Now, would it look cool with that little DK pivot there? I think it might. I think it might have looked pretty cool, but that's all right. I like keeping this thing nice and clean, especially with the Segaha pattern here. It just looks ultra clean. I like how this faux style bolster appears. You know, you have the wave pattern, and then this is almost like a faux bolster. The walk and talk is very good for a first slip joint design. Kevin and Colin are locking knife designers. I mean, they're knife designers, but what they have done in the past is locking knives. So this is their first attempt at a slip joint, and I think they absolutely crushed it. You know, like I said earlier, this is not meant to be a hard use folder. It's not meant to be a beater. It's meant to be a slicer. It's meant to, you know, cut down cardboard, you know, maybe cutting some rope. Smaller, lighter duty tasks, this thing is going to excel at. It is so thin behind the edge that you will be able to slice nonstop with that M390 blade. You'll get a ton of edge retention out of this guy. Now, I'm not 100% sure who the OEM is. I cannot remember for the life of me who it is. For some reason, I want to say Concept, but it might not be Concept. I'm not 100% sure on who the OEM is. And it doesn't look like Urban EDC Supply has it listed. So take that with a grain of salt. It could be Concept or Cancept, however you want to say that. But I am not 100% sure on that. Could be QSP. I'm not sure. Whoever did this did a very good job. I just closed that on my finger. You can see it opening up. That thing is definitely sharp. Why don't we check the edge on something other than my finger? So we have a fresh new Sportsman guide to cut up. Now, I do not know who else has had this knife, handled this knife. If it was just Kevin, I would assume there's no use on it or little use. Just kidding, buddy. It seems to have a good thin edge on it. Now, I'm only guessing, but I'm assuming this has been passed around and, you know, people have done some various testing with it. People have done some cutting with it. Let's wipe this guy off. Now, Kevin could have had this sharpened. I'm not 100% sure. It looks to be the factory edge. Yeah, that thing is nice and slicey. And even when this thing starts to dull, it will still technically do a lot of cutting for you when it's getting dull. Because of the geometry, because of how thin this guy is behind the edge, it's just going to allow you to continue slicing, and you're going to have a ton of edge retention with this guy. Between the M390 and a proper heat treat, between the thin edge and blade stock and great geometry, this thing is going to be a slicing machine. Uh, the fit and finish is excellent. I do not see a single issue with this prototype here. I believe that's what this is. This is a prototype, and I do not see a single issue as far as your aesthetics. I believe that, in my opinion, I am no expert on slip joints by any means or any stretch, but the action on this is very, very good. There's no slop in it. It's got good pull on to half and to open. I would have to say that Kevin and Colin nailed this thing. With Kevin's brain as far as what to look for in a knife, how does it act, all that sort of thing. Colin's brain on the design and that aspect of things, I think they make a great team. Colin can do a lot of the designing. Kevin can do a lot of the rework, so to speak. He can make the changes. I think they make a great team, and it shows in the knives that have come out and that, they've sold out of a ton of their models. And I think that's going to continue to be a trend. This is phenomenal, guys. I am going to do some light carrying with this guy, and then I will be passing it on to the next person. But this thing is definitely sweet. I will be picking myself up one as well. They are slated to be delivered in early 2024. I am stoked for Kevin and Colin. This thing is awesome. It's good to have some premium, well-made slip joints out on the market, and it makes me a happy camper. That'll wrap it up for this one, guys. That is the Divo Urban EDC Supply Barley. We'll do a full in-depth overview of this guy. I'm going to carry it a little bit, and we'll mix in a review with the overview. But that'll do it, guys. Check out this video. This one is definitely phenomenal. And if you're looking for a best of series, check out this video. If you're new here and not subscribed, click the GBALL Vision logo. I would love to have you here. Give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this guy. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next one.